Hi all, about to start IBM Tivoli Storage Training overview. So coming to me, so I have been into industry for more than 12 years now. So out of 12 years, I have been working for more than 10 plus of years experience of infrastructure. Um, I've been working IBM Spectrum, which is previously called TSM Tivoli Storage Manager, and I've been working on Commvault, and I have worked on another 3 or 4 backup tools as well, like NetBackup, Avamar also. As a TSM administrator, I've been working on design, implementation, administration, and delivered. I mean, even I've been given trainings on multiple occasions on TSM, so which enable the resources to support their TSM backup infra. Yes, I'm ready to give any. I mean, give support on any time. So you can contact about my WhatsApp number, contact me, or MindMajix. So today agenda, so we are going to discuss about what is backup and recovery. Introduction to backup and recovery. What is backup and recovery? What is the TSM? How it acted over the years, and what are the TSM version controls and the TSM software requirements, and a little bit about TSM design and architecture. Coming to what is backup and recovery, why it is so important nowadays. Backup and recovery describes the process of creating and storing copies of data that can be used to protect our organization against the data loss. So basically, why do anybody needs a of anything? Backup is nothing but storing your data in a safe place. So for example, nowadays using our laptops, our tabs. So used we used to keep some data on disk level, right? So whatever it is, a mobile or portable mobile laptop or a desktop. So for example, if you take a movie, so we got it from someone else and we stored it on our disk. So after some time, our computer or laptop or mobile, it might, so there is no way to recover it. Okay. So that is, I mean, you're losing your data, right? So same way, every organization, their data is very critical to their growth, their R&D. So individual who might not experience that much of I mean pain by losing the data, like our photos or movies, because we, those things are not, I mean, necessary to lead our life, but as an organization level. For example, if you take pharmacies, health organization, or airlines, anything, any manufacturing companies, they used to do R&D, research and development, on daily basis. Multiple people involved, multiple engineers to element, they used to research and develop something in their organization. Okay, but will not be completed within a time frame like 1 month or 1 day or 2 days, 3 days. It will not be like, it will not be completed like this. It will be a continuous research. They used to work for multiple years sometimes. For example, nowadays everybody is I mean, talking about COVID vaccine, right? So to develop a vaccine, they used to do lot of research. From they have to develop something, they have to research something, they have to test something. Again, they go back if some they find some uh, uh, inconsistencies or insufficiency, they have to go back to research level. So why all these things, they have to store their data. For example, if they if find out something, right? They will be storing that data into somewhere, right? So after 1 month, they need their data because of so reasons. There might be any reasons. So they the data is not there, a safe place. They cannot read it, right? They cannot compare. They cannot go back to their data. So this data is very, very, very critical to any organization. So to avoid this data loss, this backup and recovery comes into picture. So IBM is offering this IBM Spectrum product now, calling it as a previously 3 to 4 to 3 years back, it is used to call as a Tivoli Storage Manager. Tivoli Storage Manager used in early 90s. That time they used a AD Star Storage Manager. Early 2000 they renamed it to Tivoli Storage Manager. Early 2007 or somewhere, sometime they rebranded as a Tivoli IBM Spectrum Protect from Tivoli Storage Manager. Tivoli Storage Manager will give the point-in-time recoveries to your data. We are storing, one organization point of view. So IBM is offering their technology to save their copies of data in some safe location. So it can be any we can put it in that into different locations, because something some happens in original primary location, you can recover it from the secondary location. Okay, so IBM will work with in conjunction with the disk storage, tape storage, and cloud storage in a very, very beautiful manner. It integration with the cloud, tape, and the disk is up to date. Now they are offering cloud. IBM is also offering a cloud storage with IBM Spectrum Protect. So coming to IBM Spectrum Protect architecture, it is as simple as, so there is a computer and there is a TSM server. Computer is called a TSM client, server is called a TSM server. On TSM server, what we do, what we install. TSM server, we use to install TSM server application and the TSM client software. Both we need to install on that one to make it up and running. So on client software, we can install only client software, TSM client software. It is called BA client. So what after installing a TSM and client software on TSM server, we have to provide a database. TSM completely works in conjunction with the IBM DB2 database. So we have to provision some storage to TSM database, which will save the metadata. Metadata means it is the indexing of your actual data. It will not save the actual data into database. So it will point to your storage where you saved that information. That metadata will be stored on TSM database. So along with the TSM database, there is another thing. There is a staging area. It is called recovery lab. So every you are sending client data from your machine to TSM server. So which will write to TSM recovery log first. Again, it will commit to TSM database. So recovery log acts as a staging area. So this is simple architecture. Okay, and another thing, how this will be, TSM server will run on the administrative scheduler. Okay. Want to restart TSM server, you have to restart your scheduler TSM server. Same way, client also have a one backup scheduler. So if something happens to your backup, then we have to restart your backup scheduler. And one more thing, TSM server, it can attach to storage directly, or it can inbuilt storage, or it can integrate with any tape library as a destination. Okay, so another thing is TSM VA client and web client. By this is a console, so we can operate your backups and on daily basis. So this storage pool is nothing but a storing area. Actual store on this is the storage pool is the place actually you put your data. So this storage pool can be defined from the storage devices which are attached to your TSM server. It can be tape library, then it called as a tape storage pools. It can be disk storage, then it can be disk storage pools. It can be cloud. You can configure it as a cloud storage pool. And complete this TSM server will be driven by policy based management. Policy based management is nothing but which will give overview about your backups, how many days you are retaining your backups, where you are retaining your backups, and how many copies you are retaining. Say for example, you are sending your data to TSM server, so you want to retain your data for 30 days. That means from today, if you take your backup into TSM server, you have to your backup copy will be retained for another days. Means April 12th, until April 12th, your data will be there. That, and one more thing, how many copies? How many copies of data? It can be one, it can be two. It's up to business requirement. Then where this can be saved? Everything will be taken care by management policy. Coming to IBM's Tivoli Storage Manager server component introduction. So, what server components it can have? So, one is Tivoli Manager Operation Center. Operation Center is a monitoring tool for your TSM backup infra. You can centrally manage and monitor your backup infra through Operation Center. And Tivoli Storage Manager Server. Tivoli Storage Manager Server is nothing but which I explained a minute before. And some scheduler services. Scheduler services which is required to restart your TSM server or TSM client. TSM be a client, but a client machine. We can install this installing this client be a client software and into your machine. So Tivoli Storage Manager database. As I explained earlier, this is TSM IBM DB2 database. Recovery log. Storage pools also I explained. Policy based management also I explained. So coming supported operation of IBM Spectrum Protect. So TSM implement on different platforms, AX, Linux, and Linux Z series and Windows. So client also it will support lot of like AX, HP, Linux Z series, Macintosh, Solaris, Windows. So minimum system requirement to install a software. Use minimum of 16 GB memory for a start server operations, and a disk at least a 200 GB of SATA or any kind of fast phased disk. So operate. We are into now. Latest versions are IBM Spectrum Protect version 8.1. So we are into 8.1.10. I think is the. So if you want to implement install a version IBM Spectrum Protect version 8.1, you should have a Windows Microsoft Windows Server 2012 or to at least. This is the minimum requirement. You can install on 2016 or 2019 also. If it is a Linux, if you want to install TSM server on a Linux, it should be a 7.1 or later. AX also it should be 7.1 or later. Communication protocol, you should have a TCP/IP version 4 or 6. So this is a little bit about IBM Spectrum Protect. So coming back to course curriculum, below topics will be in this course. One is IBM Tivoli Storage Manager basic introduction and overview. The second one is I'll show you how install and configure of IBM Storage Manager server components, what users and what is the access management in TSM, and how you restrict a user to do daily operations on TSM. Yeah, user management is a very critical into any backup environment. For example, if you are new to TSM, if I give you a system privilege, with system privilege you can do anything. You can restart TSM server, you can restart, even halt the TSM, and you can do anything. Whatever you can install TSM server itself. But you have, as an experienced professional, you have to decide and provide the appropriate access to the resources upon their experience level. For example, if someone is a very new to TSM, we can give him a very minimal level access, like level access. He can do only, querying. He can only see the, information on the TSM console. Or you can give some more, storage level access to even more experienced profiles. Like if someone is having already working for 1 year, you can give level access, so you can at least provision some storage configurations on TSM level. But be careful while giving system access to resources in your team. It will be the spoil spot if you don't right people right access. I will show you how to configure TSM DB to data and types of storage pools. Like I said earlier, we can define storage pools and disk storage pools using disk storage, or tape storage pools using tape libraries, or cloud storage pool using clouds. TSM policy management overview, how to define the TSM policies, how to set the retentions. So I can even explain about, show you about how to install the TSM software on the client machine, how to configure the backups into daily backups, and how to build them into TSM. Scheduling is nothing but automating your backups on basis. For example, you have to configure one client machine into daily backups, but you cannot run it on daily, right? So it will be a wastage of a resource. Then you can schedule it simply on appropriate time, so it will run on daily basis by using the scheduler services. Then how to restore, how to configure admin scripts in TSM, what are the admin tasks, and how to restore possessor on different platforms also. And another thing is TSM for VMware backups overview. So nowadays industries more onto virtualization. So everybody wants to cut their costs. And if for example, you can save a lot of cost by moving into virtualization. So no need to buy a storage, and no need to manage that. So it will be very this storage is always a very costly comparing to virtualization. And recovery also, recovery in virtualization very simple and very good. You can recover it to full system also, but in disk storage level you can recover bit complexity compared to VMware. So, and another thing, if you have physical bus, you have to install software on each and every machine. But whereas the VMware, if you have virtual machine, for example, in your environment, there are 10 physical machines and 100 virtual machines, right? On 10 physical machines, you have to install some software to configure them into back. But whereas in virtual machines, 100 virtual machines can, configure all of them without installing agent on single machine. So there are very beautiful concept which is a TSM for VMware in TSM. So you can install the TSM software, one proxy server which acts as a proxy node. Proxy node is nothing. You are bypassing your traffic. Traffic means network traffic, bandwidth and production load, everything to that proxy. So you can install only that software into that proxy machine, and you can configure remaining 100 VMs into that one. So no need to install VA client software onto any other virtual machine, which will save lot of energy, lot of resource, lot of time, which will give value add to your organization. Yeah, coming to next, there are TSM is nowadays progressing very fast phasing. So they introduce data tiering, they introduce node replication. Data tiering is nothing but moving the data between the disk storage to cloud storage. Replication is gives you the disaster recovery in your organization. So for example, you have a location A, you have to set up a disaster recovery strategy in your organization. So you are setting up another location B. So you have another B machine, TSM server B. You are making TSM server A data replicated to TSM B. So if something happens to server A in primary location, then immediately we can recover it from the location B. Cloud storage pool overview. How you will configure the cloud storage in the TSM. Okay, so which is latest inclusion into IBM Spectrum Protect version 8.1.4 itself. Previously it was not there. Okay, I will show you how. And directory container store. This is also new addition in that IBM Spectrum Protect. Previously we do have only disk container pools or disk storage pools or tape storage pools only. So those are the traditional, those are there for the 30 years. These are what is the difference between the container storage and the traditional container storage, traditional disk storage pools or tape. So and traditional pools are based on device class. It runs on the device class management. But these directory storage pools will run on container storage. So what is the main difference between directory container pools, which is a new addition to IBM Spectrum Protect, and conventional traditional directory container storage pools have inline deduplication and compression, which gives almost 50% higher efficiency than traditional device class based storage pools. I will show you how to configure them. And one more thing, protect storage pool overview. And traditional storage pools, we have some concept like migration, reclamation, but those concepts are not available on directory containers. Then how you protect them? For example, something happens to your directory container storage pool, how you protect them? That is the concept of protect storage pool concept. Protect storage pool will give you the option to restore your storage pool as it is if something happens to your primary storage pool. For example, I have a container storage pool on server A. and I am protecting this storage pool to server B in some other location. So if something happens, if something happened to this storage pool, I can recover it from secondary location. And another thing is, what kind of backup failures will happen in the TSM? So how to resolve them, where you start the troubleshooting, what could be the possible fixes. So when do we need a vendor requirement? When do we need a platform team involvement? When do we need a network team involvement? When do we need a security team involvement? These things I will explain. So then once we completed this course, we will MindMajix will provide a certification on TSM, course completion certification. So IBM Tivoli Training a lab setup. For this, you need a desktop or laptop with below system requirements. You should have a Windows Server 2012 R2 at least, and a 200 to 500 GB hard disk. It can be SATA or SSD. Memory should be 16 GB. You should have a CPU 4 cores. So I will show you how to install TSM software, TSM client, everything. I will explain in later stages. Then coming to TSM certification. So we can write a certification exam on IBM Spectrum Protect administration. So we will provide you the interview stuff like what you will get in certification exams. And for example, as a mock interviews, so these kind of questions will be there in the certification. What is the backup? Difference between the backup and RQ. The second one, how retentions will be treated in TSM. Third, difference between the client and the admin scheduler, where you use it. What is the important TSM server files and TSM client files? How you restart TSM server application? How you will protect TSM database? What is node replication and how you configure it? What is migration? How you will handle it? What is data tiering in TSM? How you configure? How you configure cloud storage pool in TSM? Any doubts regarding your subject or course timings or resource allocation can be discussed with the MindMajix. So please feel free to drop your queries at info@mindmajix.com, or you can dial up at below numbers. Thank you.